Welcome to the channel, Commanders. My name is Drew Wager, one of the official authors who contributed to the narrative of the game. If you're looking for lore and history background on Elite Dangerous, you've come to the right place. This is part 2 of the Dynasty Project. Nothing official was ever heard back from the 3 expeditions that were sent out into the darkness. The 3 main superpowers were either unaware of the events, or any knowledge was so deeply classified the secrets remained buried until recent times. However, aspects of at least one of the missions was uncovered by a mysterious woman who only identified herself as R in any written or video transmissions. Quite how she uncovered enough information to investigate is unclear, but she is speculated to have either been a member of the club who went rogue, or an agent of the Dark Wheel. Some information regarding her actions was later found out by the ex-senator of the Prism system, one Lady Kahina Tajani Loren, more widely known for her antics under the pseudonym Salome. Both of these characters will be the subject of future lore investigations. Salome believed that R was a woman called Rebecca, who Salome claimed to have encountered in the hospital as a very old woman, raving about a mystery in the depths of space. In rare bouts of sanity, Rebecca claimed that there was some serious stuff out there. Things you wouldn't believe. No, really. No one believed me. They said it was all a fabrication. I had no proof, you see, and they edited my memory afterwards. It'll all come back to bite them one day. It's all there in the databank somewhere. Salome used her privileged Imperial position to access secure Imperial databanks and found an entry from Rebecca herself from several decades earlier, indicating that some kind of secret was located in the depths of space in, as far as was known at the time, an uncharted sector of the galaxy known as the Formidine Rift. Salome abdicated her responsibilities as senator to investigate this mystery, corralling exploration-focused factions and independent space travelers from around the galaxy to aid her. The search areas were vast, but eventually a series of abandoned bases were located in the depths of the Formidine Rift, Hawking's Gap, and the Conflux locales. The mystery of what had happened to the expeditions was partly revealed. The bases have been left unmolested, and the logs can still be accessed by commanders venturing out that far. The logs revealed that the expeditions did arrive as planned during 3270, and were actively deploying sensors and probes to look for Earth-like worlds in the vicinity. Some of the ship's crews succumbed to what has been dubbed space madness, with the isolation and sheer length of the mission causing mental breakdowns that led to insanity, and in some cases, suicide. Some of the logs refer to unusual phenomena being encountered in hyperspace, but these are generally considered to be hallucinations rather than actual unexplained phenomena. Within the logs, the crews of the expedition still seem unaware of the purpose of the mission, but one particular log indicates the individuals handling the probes and sensors are not allowed to interact with the crew, and any transgressions are punished by being vented through the airlocks. For a long time, only the bases were found, and no evidence of the ships involved was confirmed. Many assumed the ships had either successfully returned to the core worlds, been destroyed, or otherwise lost in the void. Salome's efforts during the year 3303 uncovered Rebecca's actions of a generation before. Rebecca had ventured into the Formidine Rift in the year 3273, having followed the trail of information. There, she located a megaship-class vessel known as the Zuara, which, whilst derelict, contained information on the club's Dynasty Project. Rebecca returned to the core worlds, presumably with the intention of exposing the club, but was unable to do so. It is assumed she was intercepted by club agents and, whilst somehow escaping assassination, had her memory erased or modified, leaving her recall crippled as a result. The mystery would have been unresolvable at that point. However, Salome investigated the clues Rebecca had left, and with the help of a faction of explorers known as the Children of Raxler, and some transmission experts known as the Hamsters, the Zurara itself was eventually relocated deep within the Formidine Rift. Stored logs on the Zurara, still accessible today, indicated that sleeper agents on the expedition vessels had been mentally preconditioned to sabotage the fleet vessels once the mission objectives had been completed. It appears that the club wanted no evidence of the expeditions to return to the core worlds, and considered the death of the crews and the destruction of the vessels an acceptable cost. It seems that, in most cases, the sleeper agents were successful in destroying the ships, as no evidence of any spacecraft had been found in the Conflux or Hawkins Gap areas. However, in the case of the Zurara, the unaffected crew members fought back against the sleeper agents and were partially successful in overcoming them. Unfortunately, the ship's main reactor was damaged, leaving the Zurara without propulsion or life support, giving the surviving crew only a few hours to live with the knowledge of what had happened. They recorded a series of poignant logs as they faced their imminent demise, and called for anyone who found the logs to serve justice on those responsible. Rebecca had also left logs on board the Zurara, an addendum to those already stored by the unfortunate crew. In these, she stated that she was concerned that she would be caught by the club on her return, and thus was leaving the original logs intact so that future explorers might find them, and that the answer to why and who is back in the core, not out here. And thus, she returned. Rebecca was unsuccessful in exposing the activities of the club, and nothing further was heard about her. Salome herself took on that responsibility. She unsuccessfully attempted to broadcast the information in a manner that could not be refuted, but herself was assassinated en route to her destination. The only remaining evidence of the club's activities is a series of logs that Salome herself recorded and stored in the Panacea Medical Center in the HIP 17519 system. Here Salome accuses the club of being behind several notable major events in the core worlds, and implicates the Federation, Empire and Alliance, along with several major corporations, as being under their influence. Her last message requests that the general populace of the galaxy rises up to resist the club, and forgive her for the wrongs she committed in pursuing her goals. Thus, the entire purpose behind the Dynasty Project was revealed: a contingency plan aimed at giving humanity 3 alternative locales far beyond the core worlds in case of an overwhelming Thargoid invasion. The threat itself has been vindicated, given that the Thargoids did indeed invade the core worlds and cause massive loss of life. However, humanity has been somewhat more successful in countering that invasion than the club's Dynasty Project's planners foresaw, and improvements in FSD jump range and speed in the intervening decades mean the contingency plan itself is no longer required. Some pundits consider that the club's goals at the time were justified, and that the actions of Rebecca and Salome in attempting to frustrate those plans and expose them are nothing more than terrorism and treachery against humanity itself. Others have suggested that the club's methods, whilst understandable, were not acceptable, and that Rebecca and Salome's efforts should be celebrated as an attempt to protect the rights of the innocent and powerless. History itself will doubtless be the judge.